The Klitschko fight coming up.
Yeah.
That generated a lot of buzz even here for two non-American fighters.
That's a very big fight, not only in boxing, but as far as the stature of the heavyweights. You know, you have Anthony Joshua, who's become this massive draw over in the UK, and then Vladimir, you know, coming off of his historic run as a heavyweight champion, now going back to take his titles back from the young gun, and that's a great matchup of the experience and desire to get back to being a champion, and you know, Anthony Joshua proving, you know, that he's, you know, one of the best heavyweights out there. If he can beat Vladimir, all of a sudden, you know, he's at the top of the sport already, and that's a huge event that just got announced on Saturday, Wembley Stadium, April 29th. They're going to have the press conference. I saw Eddie Hearn here earlier, and we have the press conference on Wednesday about that fight. So the reaction.
Can it be over there?
I'm going to LA. Usyk's fighting on the Forum show. So that'll be a great fight at the Forum. You know, with Bernard Hopkins, last fight, legend, Jojo Diaz, and then Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk is really, he's 10-0 with 9 knockouts. He just won the cruiserweight title, the WBO title over in Poland against Kowalski, who many thought, you know, was the top guy when he knocked out Marco Huck. So you'll see, I think Usyk has that talent from the amateurs. He was a gold medalist in 2012, and yet he's got that exciting style, professional style, where he's got a lot of knockouts and he's got a great personality. So, you know, what we've done with Gennady, what we've done with both Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko, we're going to work on doing the same type of thing. Once Usyk gets exposure over here in the States, that'll be on HBO. It's a triple header, so it'll be the first fight on HBO. Once he gets the exposure on HBO, we expect his career just to take off here in the States as well.
I'm going to make sure to check that fight out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't seen him fight
before, that's a great fight, and he's fighting a tough guy in his first title defense, Tabizo Muchunu, who's a tricky southpaw. He's fought for a world title before. And you know, he's with Kathy Duva main events. We made that fight, you know, very quickly. That took us about 3 days to make, and that'll be an interesting challenge for Usyk, because Muchunu is definitely a top cruiserweight.
What does the tally tell you about Joshua? You were with the tally yesterday.
Yeah.
He was like the most popular guy in the room yesterday.
Tally is.
It's a rare sighting to see him.
Tally had a legendary career, and now, you know, being the mayor of Kiev, he's got a huge, hugely important political position for, you know, one of the biggest cities in Eastern Europe, and you know, all the challenges that brings with it. But you know, Vitaly was always, you know, ever since he started, you know, when he fought Lennox Lewis at Staples Center, and then he won the WBC heavyweight championship against Corey Sanders, and he made, you know, his title defenses, and then he was injured and was off for almost 4 years, then came back directly to fight the champion. It wasn't those, you know, he had to come back and have 2 or 3 tune-up fights and then, you know, fight the champion. He came straight back after a 4-year layoff and beat Sam Peter in Berlin, Germany, to take his WBC title back, and that was a huge accomplishment. So we have a lot of respect for Vitaly, what he's accomplished inside the ring, and now what he's trying to do for the country of Ukraine and the city of Kiev.
How is he as a person? Like,
he's
like normal, like when
I look up to him. I don't know. He just
really funny, or
no, he's got a great sense of humor. Yeah. How are you? He's got a great sense of humor, and does some practical jokes, but I mean, what he's, like I said, what he's accomplished in the ring, you know, he's it's always a pleasure to be around him. Yeah, I don't see him as often like I used to when he was fighting and training, but it was always great, you know, with his training camps and his trainer Fritz Dunig, who unfortunately is no longer with us. But that was a great great chemistry, and the excitement he brought to the ring. You know, that Lennox Lewis fight, that was 6 rounds, and that was probably the most exciting heavyweight fight that I've seen live. Just 6 rounds of, you know, Vitaly was winning on all 3 scorecards. Lennox had the big cut over his eye, but he's been in some great fights. When he had the fight in Poland against Adamek, that was a great fight. You know, so he's had a legendary career himself. I mean, just the fact that the 2 brothers could be a heavyweight champion or heavyweight champions at the same time, that was their lifetime dream, and they accomplished it. And what can you say? Vladimir now just turned 40, and gonna come back and after a year layoff, you know, try to get his titles back. So it's a lot of great things coming up for 2017. If we can make the Denny Jacobs fight with Triple G, the Anthony Joshua fight with Vladimir, if we can do the Canelo fight, and Usyk can be on HBO a couple more times. I mean, that's a great year for 2017, and Chocolatito. You know, we're putting some pressure on HBO for him to get. I mean, look, he's earned his right. You know, his rate. You know, he had the main event at the Forum. He sold a lot of tickets. He had great ratings, and he's won a world title in 4 different divisions, and he's universally considered the top pound-for-pound fighter. So we got Peter Nelson a lot of credit for featuring him, and now we're working with HBO just to continue to build his career.
Perfect. So you think by next week it should be finalized? On an ending note,
hoping.
To recap everything.
Well, worst case scenario, the first bid is on Monday, but
yeah.
I'm really hoping that we can get it all worked out beforehand, and then just announce the fight as soon as possible. It's like everyone has Triple G withdrawals. They're so used to him fighting 3 times, 4 times a year, and now that he hasn't fought since September, it's like everyone's going crazy. Like, when's he going to fight, or who's he going to fight, or when are you going to announce it? And so it's just been people are looking forward to seeing him.
All right, Tom. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marcos.